Hey, so you want to write a villain, but you're a Christian. We'll talk about that in just a second. Okay, so I got a question today from social media asking me, how do I handle the villains who say bad things when I'm a Christian and I don't say things like that? This can be a problem that a lot of people like us who are believers run into. You know, there is an expectation. And I first want to talk about that expectation. There's fiction versus Christian fiction. So our audience starts to have an expectation. In fiction, the expectation is that you're going to tell the story and you're going to tell it well. In Christian fiction, you're going to tell a Christian story and you're going to tell it within the confines of our Christian values, and you're going to do it well. So there's that expectation there. But when you're writing regular fiction with the expectation of telling a story well, and that becomes paramount, and you're a believer, now other believers will place expectation on you, and you should have your own internal expectation not to do anything to contradict your Christian values. And so this can be very complicated when writing a believable villain who does bad things and says bad things, because that's not how we act and how we behave. So first and foremost, our purpose as writers is to tell a good story. It's to convey the thoughts that we want and to do it masterfully. And that means making sure that our good guys are good guys and our bad guys are bad guys. I don't want to write a villain that comes across soft or even not so bad. You know, villains in our real world are true villains. You know, people that do evil things are absolutely wicked. And we need to be able to address those kind of things inside of our storytelling as well. Now, I do encourage you to handle the character appropriately. If they're a bad guy, please make them a bad guy. You know, don't soften them around the edges just because you're uncomfortable. Maybe you're not uncomfortable writing it, but maybe you're uncomfortable with the idea that someone that knows I'm a believer is going to read this and they're going to judge me harshly because of me saying this. Or maybe they know I'm a Christian and they're going to say, well, if, you know, maybe someone that's outside of the church will say, well, because you're a Christian, you're writing stuff like this, that doesn't make sense. You're a writer, okay? And you've got to handle the story and the characters appropriately. Now to the meat and potatoes of this. Usually when I'm writing a character, anything too bad, I just do the Q*bert stuff. I don't put real strong language in there. Like it could be, you know, with some of the stuff I write, I don't want the F-bomb in there because I want to maintain a teen rating on my books. So I don't want super, super harsh language in there, even if it's been written in. I want to at least let people know, hey, this is a bad guy. He says really bad things. Or maybe this is the good guy who's really rough around the edges and has kind of a loose cannon mouth. So I stay true to the characters, but anything too bad, I use that little Q*bert method, you know, with the dollar signs and ats and exclamation points and all that kind of stuff. Then the other thing I try to do is I really try to get creative with saying bad things without saying bad words. You know, this is a great opportunity to open up a thesaurus and to learn new words and teach new words to your readers. You know, allow these words to come out that maybe you've never heard before, and maybe other people haven't heard before, that really describe or come from a very heinous place in that character, but they're not necessarily curse words. That is always the best way to go, especially when you're a writer, because it makes your writing way more interesting. And then finally, I really kind of save the harsh language, the really hard stuff, when it's absolutely appropriate. Because sometimes in those situations, the hard language is the right language to use right there. And I don't use it all the time. It's very sparing. It's on purpose. It's, in a sense, to create shock in the reader so that they know that this is a hard moment. This is a big deal. And only using this kind of big deal language is appropriate right here. And again, it all serves a story, because at the end of the day, this is a job. You know, when you're writing fiction and you're whether it's prose or comics or whatever, you're telling a story and it becomes a job. You're making income off of this. So do your job well. Always do your job with excellence. But also remember, never do anything that you feel will damage your Christian witness, because above everything else, your Christian witness is what's most important. People have to know who you believe, what you believe, why you believe it. They have to know that you walk the walk, not just talk the talk. There's plenty of people out there that make Christian fiction, but they're not walking the walk and talking the talk. They've got bad language. They start fights on social media. They do all kinds of wicked stuff. But there's very few of us out there that are writing fiction and that we're Christians in a secular world. So let's try our best to do that and to make sure that we're not going to do anything and engage in anything that's going to damage our Christian witness. Take the value of what you say and what you do and compare it against your Christian witness and determine whether or not you've been true to that. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. If it has, please leave a comment. Let me know. If there's any other questions that you would like me to do quick videos about, also leave a comment and I'll be happy to answer those for you and talk about those things for you. And also make sure to hit the like and the subscribe and ring the bell for any kind of notifications that comes up. Have a great day. God bless.